Hey people, this is BIGBMH's take on Superman Part 5. In this video I'm going to be talking about something most of the fans are pretty concerned about, and one of the most important things to get right in the movie, the conflict. Figuring out which villain Superman should take on in the next movie is pretty tricky. Before I go any further, I want to establish this rule that I think every Superman movie should follow. Give him something to hit. I want to see more than Superman just catching and lifting things. The plane scene that came early on in Superman Returns was pretty cool, but it was pretty much the only good action scene in the entire movie. This movie needs multiple great action scenes. I want to see more than Superman stopping some lame Lex Luthor scheme. Narrowing Superman's rogues gallery down to a few who can put up a fight, we've got characters like Zod, Brainiac, Parasite, Metallo, and Bizarro. Like I said in an earlier video, Zod has already been done in Superman 2, so just to bring in somebody else, I think that we should leave Zod out for now. I want to save Brainiac for the sequel, so I don't want Brainiac as the villain for the first movie. Bizarro can definitely go head-to-head against Superman, but I think the whole backwards speaking thing and just a lot of things with the translation of the character might have him come off as kind of cheesy and stupid for a movie, so I'm just not sure how well he'd translate into a movie character. So I'd rule out Bizarro. I've never been that big of a fan of Parasite, so the characters I mentioned, I would choose to feature Metallo for this movie. However, for the main villain, I want Lex Luthor. I know a lot of you are tired of seeing Superman take on Lex in every movie, pretty much, but Lex is a crucial character. Not only is he Superman's arch nemesis, but I'd say he might even be more important to the world of Superman than the Joker is to the world of Batman. Lex is a major presence in the city of Metropolis before Superman even gets there. He can't just not be in the movie. I said before that Lex should be a powerful businessman. The Lex I'd like to see in this movie would also be a genius weapons developer. Think of him like an evil Tony Stark. Lex is corrupt and he doesn't mind hurting people to get what he wants. However, he controls a lot of Metropolis, including the media, so he's able to manipulate how the public views him. As for his general plot for the movie, I'd kind of mix elements from Superman Birthright and Superman the Animated Series' Last Son of Krypton opening movie. The following is a partial plot synopsis detailing my idea of Lex's involvement in the story. When you listen to this, know that I don't intend this to be exactly the way it happens. There would be more than this happening in the story, and it wouldn't be exactly like this. This is just a general idea of what Lex is doing in the movie. So I'm going to start off with an excerpt from a plot synopsis of The Last Son of Krypton Part 3 with some little things added in by me in a few places. Billionaire Lex Luthor is presenting LexCorp's new battlesuit robot when it is stolen by terrorists. Clark, in the alternate identity of Superman, manages to capture two of them, but the one with the battlesuit escapes after one of the terrorist missiles damages an airplane's wings, forcing Superman to abandon the chase to save the plane. Instead of a plane, it could be a helicopter containing Lois and Jimmy, since that'd probably be easier to do than a full airplane Superman save. Anyway, soon reports of the strange new entity start appearing on the news, and Lois is told to try to get an interview with him. Later, pretty shortly after rescuing Lois and Jimmy, probably, the terrorist who stole the battlesuit, John Corbin, starts wreaking havoc, probably attempting to escape in this version of the story. But Superman manages to defeat him after a rough battle by taking Corbin out of the armor, ending with the well-known line, "Shall we go a few rounds without the suit?" Clark and Lois return to Lex's building soon afterward for an interview. While on the first floor, Clark notices an elevator with two armed guards on either side, and makes a remark about the security in the building. Lois informs Clark that this is the elevator to the mysterious LexCorp basement that only Lex himself is allowed in. On their way up to Lex's office, Clark, using his super hearing, overhears Lex talking to someone, and uncovers the truth about the incident. The whole thing was really just a plot to sell the Lexoscale Suit 5000 to Kazian terrorists. Lex knew that the Pentagon would want him to design something bigger and better to combat the suit that the terrorists stole. Superman later confronts Lex in his office, telling him that he knows what he did and that he's going to find a way to bring him down. Lex tells Superman that he can't prove anything, so it would be unwise to go against him. He suggests that if Superman were to work for him, it'd be mutually beneficial. Superman tells Lex that he would never work with anyone like him, and turns to leave. Lex says something to Superman like, "They like you now. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to change that." Superman flies off angrily, leaving Lex standing there with a scheming smile that shows he's got something planned. Later, Lex is at a press conference to give his comments regarding the battlesuit incident. When asked about Superman, instead of expressing appreciation like expected, he expresses concern. He tells the press that since they don't know anything about Superman, they can't be sure that they can trust him. He'd say something like, "Is he even human?" Both Superman Secret Origins and Superman Birthright share the concept of Lex trying to make the public distrust Superman by creating and manipulating fear. I think this is a great idea and should be a big part of the movie. Afterward, rumors start to swirl about what Superman really is. Clark thinks that the best thing to do now is to let the world know the truth about him. He arranges an exclusive interview with Lois Lane in which he makes his intentions clear and tells about how he's the last survivor of Krypton. Lois's article shows the world who Clark really is, well, Superman really is, and they embrace him once again, even with the knowledge that he's an alien. Mercy Graves, Lex's assistant, makes a remark about how Lex's plan has backfired and Superman is more popular than ever. Lex smiles the same scheming smile that we saw earlier and tells Mercy that Superman has played right into his hand. Lex later sends the media images of Kryptonian warships bearing Superman's symbol that he claims were taken by LexCorp satellites. The experts have analyzed the images and confirmed that they're real. Lex then accuses Superman of being a Kryptonian spy sent to scout ahead before the invasion. Panic starts to spread and the public turns on Superman. Superman has seen these images before in the fortress and has no idea how Lex could have gotten a hold of them. Regardless of his methods, Superman knows that Lex is lying to manipulate the public and ruin him. He flies to Lex's office to confront him. Lex lets him in, and Superman approaches him angrily. Lex, sitting calmly at his desk, smiles his scheming smile once again and pushes a button under his desk. Steel plates cover the walls and windows of Lex's office, and a red light shines from the ceiling. Lex informs Superman that this is red sun radiation and strips him of his powers. Superman says something like, "Even without my powers, locking yourself in a room with me after all you did wasn't exactly a good idea." Lex says something like, "Of course not. That's why I have this." He opens a little lead box containing a glowing green ring. Superman stumbles backwards. Lex slips on the ring and says, "A radioactive piece of your homeworld. I call it kryptonite. To humans, it's harmless, but to you..." Superman tries to punch Lex, but the effects of the kryptonite have slowed him down. Lex easily dodges the punch and punches Superman in the face with the ring, knocking him to his knees. It's fatal. And there's just so much more where this came from. Lex kicks Superman around a bit and knocks him unconscious. When Superman wakes up, his arms are bound behind him. Lex tells him that, as they speak, the invasion is beginning. Superman says that he knows this is a lie and that he's the only survivor of Krypton. Lex says, "You know that. I know that. But when the world sees an army of soldiers just like you attacking Metropolis with alien weapons, I'll have all the evidence I need to convince them that you cannot be trusted. Don't worry though. Soldiers armed with LexCorp technology will heroically defeat the alien invaders, and the government will turn to me to arm them with the weapons necessary to defeat the rest of the invasion force." He informed Superman that he's armed a small group of soldiers with imitation Kryptonian weaponry. The rest he used to advanced hologram technology, the same hologram technology that allowed him to fake the satellite pictures, and the same technology that will keep the world convinced that more Kryptonians are coming. Superman says, "How?"
How have you learned so much about Krypton? Lex replies, wouldn't you like to know? And chuckles to himself. He'll be kept alive for now. After all, Lex Luthor, savior of planet Earth, wouldn't kill the only enemy soldier that could be kept for questioning. They'll torture you for information about your army. After all, the funny thing about human rights is they only apply to humans. And when they're done, I'll dissect you myself. Goodbye, Superman.